Welcome to Đồng Nai radio and television stations. Here are the news today. On the 1st of August, the European Union-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement officially came into effect. The European Commission issued a press release affirming that this is the most comprehensive trade agreement that the EU has signed with a developing country. In a statement released on the 31st of July, the EC President Ursula von der Leyen said that the European economy now needs every opportunity to recover its strength after the crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Trade agreements such as the EVFTA, which came into effect with Vietnam on the 1st of August, will allow European companies to access emerging markets and create jobs for Europeans. Mrs. von der Leyen expressed her strong belief that this agreement will also become an opportunity for Vietnamese people to enjoy a more prosperous economy, practice in a positive change, and gain more benefits as a worker as well as a citizen. EVFTA will proceed to scrap duties on 99% of all goods traded between the EU and Vietnam. On the 31st of July, the Ministry of Information and Communications held a launching ceremony of the Stringy Communication API. Stringy is a comprehensive solution of communication platforms that allow businesses to communicate with customers on their own mobile applications or websites without having to use a third-party apps, as well as not investing from scratch a software with communication features. Stringy is the first and only platform to provide services and development of this communication platform in Vietnam. This is also one of the Made in Vietnam digital platforms chosen by the Ministry of Information and Communication to introduce and sponsor media to promote a comprehensive and wide-ranging digital transformation in economic and social field. It making an important contribution to the goal of the National Digital Transformation Program. On the 31st of July in Hanoi, the Ministry of Defense organized a conference to grasp the prevention of COVID-19 in the whole Army thoroughly. Lieutenant General Trần Đơn, Deputy Minister of Defense, chaired the conference. It is forecasted that in the coming time, the disease situation will have unpredictable and complicated fluctuations. The Ministry of Defense requires the units in the whole Army to strictly implement the regimes of disease prevention and combat, in addition to strictly maintaining the vigilant regime ready to deal with the situation. The Army needs to continue to tightly control the border and stop illegal entry across the border. They need to continue to deploy isolation areas managed by the military. It is needed to well organize the reception, transportation, and isolation of citizens from abroad to return home, preventing cross-contamination for service personnel and infecting the community. Lieutenant General Trần Đơn also requested military medical units to prepare well facilities and be ready to timely give treatment to patients when the disease progresses complicatedly and the number of infected people increases. According to updated data on Worldometers, the total number of COVID-19 cases worldwide has exceeded 17.7 million, of which more than 681,000 deaths. The World Health Organization warns that the impact of a pandemic will last for decades. The WHO Emergency Committee has held a meeting to review the epidemic situation since it broke out in China last December. At the meeting, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus reiterated that on the 30th of January, when the Emergency Committee proposed to declare a state of emergency with the COVID-19 epidemic, there were still less than 100 cases and no deaths outside of China, but now outbreaks have occurred in a large scale, causing enormous damage. This pandemic is a once-in-a-100-year health crisis, and its effects will last for decades. On the 31st of July, Chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Eliot Engels, issued a subpoena asking Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to provide information on the relationship between the Hunter Biden and the Ukraine's energy company, Burisma Holdings. In a press release, Engel's office stated, "This order requires the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to provide all information to the House of Representatives about the connection between Biden's father and son and the Burisma Holdings that they sent to the Senate committees under Republican Party control and recommend Pompeo to finish before the 7th of August." According to the statement, the move is part of a House Foreign Affairs Committee investigation on allegations that Pompeo used State Department sources to discredit Biden. That is the end of the news today. Thank you for tuning in.